Is not preparation for life. Education is life itself. Good morning, dear students. Today we are going to discuss about movements of the body. What do you mean by movement? Change in position of an object relative to a fixed point. Since the time we get up in the morning till we go to bed at night, we move our body every time. We endlessly do some work or the other. For this purpose, the continuous movement of our body is necessary. Some of the movements in body parts of human are movements of eyelids, movement of the heart muscles, movement of teeth and jaw, movement of arms and legs, movements of head, movements of neck. Here first we are going to discuss about movement of eyelids. An eyelid is a thin fold of skin that covers and protects an eye. Its key function is to regularly spread the tears and other secretions on the eye surface to keep it moist. Since the cornea must be continuously moist, they keep the eyes from drying out when asleep. Moreover, the blink reflex protects the eye from foreign bodies. Next, heart muscles. It is also called cardiac muscles. These muscle tissues works to keep your heart pumping through involuntary movements. This is one feature that differentiates it from skeletal muscle tissue, which you can control. It does thus through specialized cells called pacemaker cells. These control the contraction of your heart. Next one, movement of the teeth. The human teeth function to mechanically break down items of food by cutting and crushing them in preparation for swallowing and digesting. Humans have 4 types of teeth: incisors, canines, premolars and molars, which each have a specific function. The roots of the teeth are embedded in the maxilla, that is upper jaw, or the mandible, that is a lower jaw, and are covered by gums. Teeth are made up of multiple tissues of varying density and hardness. Next, movement of the legs. We use our legs quite frequently. The movement of our legs helps us to walk, run, jump, etc. The ankles and the knees of the legs bend, the toes bend too. We are able to lift our legs from the groins. Next, movement of the arms. The hands are the most important parts of our arms. We move our hands very often. We pick up things with the help of our hands. Similarly, we are able to write, eat our food and do a lot of things, lot of works with our hands. We are able to bend our wrist and elbow. We are able to move our shoulders up and down and rotate them in a circular motion. Besides, we are able to bend our fingers too. Look at the picture showing the movements of the hands. Next, the movement of the neck. We use our neck to look towards the right side, the left side, up, down and a little towards the back. Next, movements of the head. Here also we can able to move up, down, forward, backward and sidewise too. Next, we are moving on to types of movements. Here we have amoeboid movement, ciliary movement, and muscular movement. First, let us see the amoeboid movement. Next, ciliary movement. This movement is brought about by appendages called as cilia, which are hair-like extensions of the epithelium. Both these kinds of movements are seen with the cells of the lymphatic system. This is paramecium. It is using the cilia for its movement. Next, muscular movements. It is a more complex movement which is brought about by the musculoskeletal system. This type of movement is seen in the higher vertebrates. To understand more about the movements brought about by the musculoskeletal system, we need to understand the joints, skeleton, and the types of the muscles. First, let us see the joints. The point at which two separate bones meet is called a joint. Depending on the type of the movement they allow, joints can be of three types: fixed, slightly movable, and movable joints. I have already told you the place where the two bones are joined together is called a joint. We can bend the body around the joints, example, knee, elbow, wrist, neck, etc. There are two kinds of joints: fixed and movable joints. First one, fixed joint. As the name suggests, it cannot move. The skull is an immovable joint. Next, movable joints. These are the joints which can move. Not all the movable joints move in all the directions. Let us see various movable joints. First one is ball and socket joints. It allows the maximum movements. The round end of one bone fixed into hollow part of the another bone. Hence the name ball and socket bones or joints. Hip joint and the shoulder joints are the examples of this type of the joints. The bowler in cricket, while bowling, spins his hand around the shoulder. Hinge joint works like a door. It moves the bones in one direction. Knees, elbows, fingers, toes have hinge joints. Let us see the pivot joint. One bone has the projection which hits into the rib like a ligament of another. It allows the movement in many ways. The head can be moved from side to side, up and down, backward, forward, and sideways. The skull moves on the top of the first vertebrae. Let us see gliding joints. Adjacent bones slide over each other and allow little bit movement. It allows a back to bend, twist, and turn at each joint like the vertebrae of the backbone, wrist, and ankle. Structure of synovial joints. Ankle, elbow, knee, wrist, shoulder all have freely movable joints or also known as synovial joints. We know that when two surfaces move on each other, there is always wear and tear because of friction. At freely movable joints, there is a lot of free movement between bones. These joints have special structure which prevents bones from getting wearing off. At the joints, ends of the bones covered with the articular cartilage. It is a tissue, it is very slippery, it reduces any friction in bones. It also provided with articular tissue. The synovial joints are joined together with ligament tissue. In a cartilage, there is a cavity called joint cavity or synovial cavity is filled with synovial fluid, which further decreases the friction with bones. You can compare synovial fluid with the engine oil. Synovial cavity is surrounded by a joint capsule. Inner layer of the joint capsule is called synovial membrane and outer layer called articular capsule. It holds the bone and provides the ability to join. Next, we are moving on to condyloid joint and saddle joint. Condyloid joint means it is the wrist joint, similar to the ball and the socket joint but with much flatter articulating surfaces, forming much shallower joint. Next, saddle joint. One part is concave, turned inward at one end and looks like a saddle. The other end is convex, turned outward and looks like a rider in a saddle. That's all today's class. Thank you for your support, children. Thank you.